You were watching Father Fish. Now please enjoy the video. You were watching Father Fish. Now please enjoy the video. Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish we get, but you got us. You're watching Father Fish. Now please enjoy the video. Everybody hurts sometimes. Everybody hurts sometimes. Everything will be alright. Only the person will say, here's to the ones that we got. Here's to the wish we get. To life
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello. Oh, I heard a
sound. Good to see everybody. Oh, Mary, how are you?
Yes, sir. I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm good. I'm good. I have somebody here. I got somebody I want you to meet.
Oh, I can't wait.
To see if, well, let's see. We haven't got her camera on. There she is. Look at that. EJ, I'd like you to meet Mary Paige.
Hey, EJ, how are you, beautiful? Can you hear us?
No.
Yes. Can you hear us?
Hi, I can hear you.
Oh, good.
Okay.
EJ, I'd like you to meet Mary Paige.
Hey, Mary.
Hey,
I really enjoyed that Saturday when you and Father Fish were working together and talking and sharing. Wait a minute. I'm having difficulty with figuring out what's going on with the camera.
It was wonderful. EJ, turn your YouTube volume off.
Okay.
Or close it or something. We're getting feedback, I think.
Little feedback.
She hadn't learned all the ropes yet.
Hey, believe me, if anybody, it took me forever to learn it all. I don't know anything about computers or anything. So Father Fish is, and you guys have bared with me or however you want to say that, for me to learn how to do this. So I appreciate y'all. Hey, Wendy.
I think she's frozen.
Uh-oh. It's okay, EJ. Don't worry.
You got it?
Yeah,
there you are. Yes.
It's still doing its thing.
Yeah, it looks good now.
I'll figure it out.
The fingers.
I always do. It just takes a minute.
Yeah, we got Scott and Wendy and EJ. Hello. And Marky. Hey, Marky.
Howard Kevin Castle. Hey, Howard.
Grin. And Crystal. Hey, Crystal.
Crystal's here. Crystal was here Friday, too.
Oh, yes, I haven't got to watch y'all stream yet on Friday, but Father Fish was he said y'all had a great time, EJ.
Oh, I had a great time. It was fun. Looking forward to next week.
All right, I can't wait. I'm going through some changes here, and I've got to move, and some different things going on. So, and I hate change. Like it just kills me. So I get a little bit behind and a little stressed out, but it'll work out and I'll get settled back down again.
Okay.
Well, it's gonna be better.
That's what
I
I
think I
think.
figured it out.
Yeah, you look good.
Okay. Oh, well, you caught me in the middle of doing this.
Water changes.
No,
Or make a bowl.
creating, I'm creating a fish bowl. So
Yes,
4.5
that's
gallon. Oh, let me switch it up. I was,
oh,
I
that's
was just
wonderful.
planning on just showing this or just working on this while we're
Oh,
doing
that's
the show.
Oh, officially, hello,
I
officially. Good
love
to
it.
see you.
Hey, officially. Oh, that's nice, EJ. You know, I found a big bowl like that at Walmart for like $11.99. It was like
Oh yeah,
a 2 or 3 gallon bowl. I want to go back and get it. It was the only one they had.
I got one here somewhere. I just dug out.
I could put some of my shrimp in it that Father Fish sent me. Those blue jelly shrimp are doing great, Father Fish.
Oh, good.
Doing real good.
Yeah. Well,
Hello, Crystal.
I found this one at Michael's
Oh,
for
really? You're the craft
$15.
store. Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
That is awesome.
I actually got two of them, one for myself and one for my friend. I'm gonna set something up for her. But I
Oh,
already put the dirt in underneath this sand.
Hey, Howard. Nice to see you, James Green. James, good
James.
to have you here. Kevin, the 40 breeder. Well, it's interesting.
Yeah.
I stirred it up today. I made a mess, but I'll show it to you. It's doing really well.
Yes.
I got some what are they called? The L200.
Oh,
Gold,
wow.
gold spot something. I put them in
Oh,
here.
my.
Was talking with Chris, and he said they like hot water. So
Really?
I went in here to try to catch them and move them, and I couldn't get them. All I managed to do was turn it into a cloudy mess again. So it'll be another day before it clears up. But it's doing wonderfully. I'm really very happy with it. I've got fish spawning in it already. I have
Wow.
cories and rams spawning in it. So
Oh, that's neat.
it's going to be really nice. Kind of excited about that. Yeah, I got a bunch of jars too. I can't use them though because I got no place to put them in this little 8x8 fish room I got.
Right. You're doing about like me with the camper, but you've got some good sized tanks. Now,
I
when I
got
get,
55. Well, I got these 29s, a 40,
yeah,
a 30, and a 55. And I got this cube over here that's about a 40-gallon cube
I like that one.
that is kind of hidden, but it's got some waru in it that are looking better kind of every day. These are some cichlids I got. They're in African, and I'll think of the name of them in a minute, maybe.
And
Then
they're an
again, maybe I won't. I don't know. My brain doesn't always work when I want it to.
right. I know that feeling. Hey, Kenneth B. There's our buddy Kenneth.
Hey, Kenny, how are you?
Uh-oh, we got you muted, EJ. We can't hear you.
Oh, sorry, I'm gonna.
There you go.
I've got some dinner to make, and I'm gonna finish this bowl tonight.
All right.
Okay.
But, I'm gonna be listening in while you guys are doing the show, and I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, I cannot wait to watch you and Father Fish on Friday nights. He's so much fun to hang out with, and you are just a beautiful young. I'm gonna say young lady because I'm an old lady. So, but it's gonna be a joy.
Remember, my dear.
That's right. That's right. All right. Oh, good luck with the bowls. I think that is amazing. So
Thank you. Well,
that's
we'll
gonna
see how
be
it comes
fun.
out. I'll post pictures. But it is
Yeah.
dirted. There is dirt under there, and we're going to see how long it lasts with Wallstead.
Bye for
It's
now.
gonna be great. Bye, EJ. Thanks for coming up. All right. Oh, she's going to be fun.
Oh, isn't she a delight?
Yes, indeed.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just amazingly knowledgeable. She started in November
Uh-huh.
keeping fish,
Oh,
and
wow.
she has moved light years. But she has a very um, kind of a scientific and methodical approach, and enormously energetic. So she really goes at this thing. Highly
That's awesome.
experimental. She tries everything. You know, she's like a good scientist.
I
Uh,
love it.
works out and develops an idea, works it out as a plan, implements, and then moves on from there. Just, I, I think, uh, I think she's going to be a remarkable addition to the fish fan conversation.
I do too.
And
She
I
said
really,
October. And you know what? That's the fun of it. Like, I'm one of those people, like when I started studying your system, I'm not the most knowledgeable in the person in the world, but I get things that make sense to me. And, you know, what you do makes sense to me. And I'm having great success with it. So why change it? Just keep on going
yeah,
with it.
yeah, right. You know, you can do anything. Anybody can do anything. It doesn't really matter. There are new laws yet
Yeah.
prescribing how we set up fish tanks. Yet,
Right.
yet,
Yeah.
yet. And I guarantee you, when there are, dirted tanks will be blacklisted. I guarantee you. You'll be violating federal law to set up a dirty
Probably.
tank.
Oh no. And see here, I've got all these tanks going, and all I've actually put in them is some guppies and some shrimp and some bettas. I've still not had the opportunity yet to set up a big tank and try different fish. But one thing for sure is I know that my tanks are balanced and they're doing well, and that gives me the opportunity to keep a lot of different fish. When I finally get, I'm like a nomad. I'm like a
Yeah, you
hobo.
were saying you're going to talk to your boss and try to talk him into setting up a fish tank in the
Yes.
store.
See, I've got that.
Go for a big one.
I want to. Now I've
Go
got the
for
33
a
gallon, but I
55.
want to go bigger.
30,
Yeah.
33 be good. A 55. If you'll go for a 75, tell him you'd like to make it just 6 inches deeper. That would make it a 75.
Yeah,
That would be.
I'll do it. And just think, I've got a lot of time. I got a lot of ways to. I've got time because it's just a country store, and so there's a lot of hours. And he told me, he said, the only thing I'm worried about is you're going to like get burnt out and get bored to death because you're sitting there for hours and hours. And I said, no, because I can do YouTube. And he was like, that's perfect. So it's like a match made in heaven.
Well,
So
the other thing you need to say to him is, if you're going to do YouTube, you got to have a fish tank.
right, exactly. I'm gonna spend 8 to 10 hours in there. I've got.
Will love it too.
Oh, they will, and I know he will. Hey, Robs,
That's exciting. That's fun.
and Press Alpha.
Hey, Rob's good to see you. EJ says I'm from Texas. We make our own
Make
laws.
all. Right.
Yeah. Florida too, for that matter. Yeah, we got a couple of outlier states here.
Well, I'm in Kentucky where it's a Commonwealth, and Commonwealth makes their own laws. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
that's right. That's right. Kentucky's another one. You betcha. There are a bunch. Vermont's certainly one.
Right.
Yeah, there are a bunch. EJ, I want to see. What she want to see? Oh,
Let's see.
Kevin Rosenberg.
Oh
What did
yeah.
you like that? Okay. Are you ready, Kevin? If you're ready, we can do that.
We can do it. Let me see if I can fix my camera a little better.
Oh, right. Press Alpha. Somebody went ninja and made the community tanks video. Yeah, it's pretty good, isn't it? We got another one coming.
It was really good.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. Naresh put that together. We got another one that'll be coming up in a week or two. That'll be better production quality. But I thought Naresh did a good job with that. That
Oh
was
yes.
his,
Oh,
about his third try, and it not bad at all. I
hey, he's doing
appreciate it.
great.
Yeah.
Do you see that Press Alpha is originally Pootie Tang? How are you?
Well, that's who's doing the next one. Is Booty
All
Tank.
right. That's awesome.
Yeah, he's working on one, right? Putty Tank slash Tank, right? And I always get it confused. Now press Alpha. All right. Uh,
This
he's
cat.
a professional um, IT guy, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's right, Brent. Everybody hit that like. Thank you guys.
EJ, I love what Florida's governor is doing. Like, he's amazing. He is amazing. He really is. I wish we had two senators just like him, but we
Yeah.
don't. We're going to get that fixed, I hope.
So has anything else been done on the Lacey Act recently?
They are
Any more?
meeting. The committee is meeting right now. If you have not sent a letter, a call, or something to your congressperson, do it now, and your state senator. On my community page is a list of all the members of that committee, and there's a utility there that allows you to find the one coming from. What is that?
I don't know. I'm so sorry. Wait a minute. Sorry. Hold on.
Her clock, her phone just went off. Anyway, find the rep or senator on the committee who's in your state and send them a letter. Basically, what we need is for the senators to say to the representatives, we can agree on terms for this bill, but we got to get rid of all those amendments. There's
Yeah.
600 amendments, of which
Wow.
the one we're concerned about is one. That means an amendment that will never be discussed, that will never see the light of day, if the major bill is passed, is going to have the most profound effect on an entire industry to the point of destroying that industry, in addition to destroying biotopes and environments around the world, in addition to destroying species around the world. I mean,
Yeah.
it will be the most extraordinary, violent, destructive piece of legislation in absolute ages. It must be stopped. Ladies love Pootie Tang, Chris Alpha says. Okay. For $5, I got to put that up. We think so. All right. Sorry about what's this.
Oh, my alarm. I don't know what that was. Hey, Freshwater Ichthyology. So glad you're here. And she says, do we know more about this legislation?
Oh, yeah. Who's asking?
Freshwater Ichthyology.
Yeah, we know a lot about it. Nice to see you, by the way. Basically, what it does is create a white list, much like Brazil, which finally got rid of theirs. France, New Zealand, Australia all have white lists. That means that only specified species of animals are allowed to be marketed. In the case of Brazil, it was only specified species were allowed to be exported. They finally got rid of that because it was destroying their environment. There was no attempt to try to protect those species that were otherwise marketable, and they were losing them. So now they've gotten rid of that, which makes those species marketable, literally thousands of species. They had a list about 20 long of the thousands of species that live in Brazil only about 20 were legal to be exported. So now they've gotten rid of that just at the point where COVID hit, which stopped virtually all shipping. And now, if this bill passes in the US, we will not be able to import those species because only a specified number of items will be listed. Those items, according to that bill, are defined as those species that are or were marketed in the year 2021 in greater than small numbers, whatever the hell that means. In
Yeah.
other words, the items that the big box store sells are the items that are going to be permitted and nothing else. So this has got to go down, and it's got to go down hard. Uh, our Florida Senator Rubio has been sold a bill of goods on this by his staff based on their relationship with some politicos in Hawaii who are convinced that they are have the ultimate say in what should be imported and what should it be exported. And of course, nobody wants to live under Hawaiian law.
Right.
Nevertheless, it says any animal that is capable of surviving in any environment in the territorial and territories of the United States will be blacklisted, will not be on the white list. Nothing survives that requirement. Nothing. Not guppies, not bettas, not anything. There is not a species in the world that is capable of surviving in either Florida or Puerto Rico or 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 the American territories in the South Pacific. So there's the long and the short of it.
Right. Freshwater ichthyology has some good comments there. She said, we have positive list in the UK. It went by genre, not species, spanning largely the most invasive species. We have a smaller climatic range, though. And then ours got rid of most of North American fishes, a few Asian species, and the Wells catfish. Going by genre helped, though. And we can get away with it, I assume, if the list, we can get away with it, I assume, if it's listed as something else or at an order level. People have seen the banned North American catfish is listed here, so I assume that's how. So it's strange to list the entire range worse than the
Yeah, that's right.
EU regulation.
Yeah, and who knows how this
And
is going to
hello,
go
Alan,
down?
too. Yeah. And
You
New
know,
England,
we just don't know. Those
EJ,
the
yep.
things I mentioned are what's been written in the law. In addition to which, it being illegal, this is a transportation bill, by the way. It has to do with uh, bringing things into the country and shipping them between states, interstate commerce.
Yeah.
So even if you had something, now this was done in France and in Australia, and in both cases, the government, as a follow up to this legislation, said, okay, this means we're going to confiscate any fish owned by anyone in the country that's not on the white list. And there was an uproar threatening revolution. And so they dropped that little trial balloon. And they'll try the same thing here to be sure. So this is diabolical. The biggest problem with this is that it prevents those of us who are protecting literally hundreds of species from extinction from being able to continue to do so and to then be able to put them back into appropriate environments. So it ends all attempts on the private sector level to protect and sustain species and endangered biotopes. And that's just wrong. There is no respect at all for the private sector in this legislation. And I think that, frankly, is the major issue. I think that the fact that government holds itself as superior to the capabilities of private citizens to protect species and to protect the environment says a whole lot about how the government seeks to achieve domination, control, and authority over its people. That's not in our Constitution, and that's not who we are as a nation. There are plenty of other nations that are built that way. We're not, and I don't think it's going to be tolerated. It's being tried over and over on a daily basis, and it's going to bring about some major, major change. I hope and pray. EJ. Yeah, it's been done. It's been done to a lesser degree, as ichthyology just mentioned, in the EU. It's been done in France. Been done in Brazil. They dropped it in Brazil. In Brazil, it was not an import; it was an export white list. Done in Australia, and I believe in New Zealand. Let's see, where are we here? What do you got, Mary? I'm not following the chat. Freshwater ichthyology. Not everybody here knows you. Everybody needs to get to know you. If you have not clicked on freshwater ichthyology, by absolute all means do so. This is another utterly remarkable young woman who is a scientist who is studying most specifically the L series Plecostomus and is doing very complex work like speciation, which is probably the most complicated thing you can possibly do, determining the specifics of species and telling one animal apart from another. Remarkable, remarkable woman. Great videos, a terrific website. Delighted to have her here visiting. If you would, anytime you want to come up, please. Elizabeth is her name. Elizabeth. Would be delighted to have you visit, Elizabeth. But thank you for coming on.
Sorry, I was muted as usual.
EJ is saying, under what conditions would a plenum system work?
Right.
And
oh, go ahead. I was just going to say, I ended up, my system with Father Fish ended up working so well, I kind of didn't even go any deeper into testing it out. So you go ahead with what you were going to say, because you're the expert, Father Fish.
Well, there was a lot of research done by GARF, the Geothermal Aquatic Research Facility in Iowa, about 20 years worth of research. And one of the things they researched was the plenum. They were working on saltwater. What they discovered with and without plenums is that they made absolutely no difference. They could not detect anything better or worse with the plenum. If you think about it, all it does is create a level of a very thin layer of water at the very bottom of the tank under the substrate. Now, in the case of a dirted tank, if you put dirt on a plenum, and a plenum would be like an under gravel filter plate, that's a plenum. It's going to go through. It's going to go through these little slots, and it's going to pack it out. Now, if you're running the plenum, if you got the standpipe on it with the near stone in it, it'll be sucking that dirt out, so you're going to wind up with a muddy tank. If you take that stem off, which is what I recommend, if you have an under gravel filter tank with a couple of inches of gravel and you've got it running for at least a year, take the tube off, Cap the whole thing with 2 inches of sand and keep going. It will give you precisely what we're doing with the deep substrate tank. The plenum, in point of fact, is only useful if it's capped with gravel and if water is flowing through it. It gives
Yeah.
you a filter. It is eventually, it becomes an anaerobic filter for the simple reason that as water courses through the gravel and bacteria growing on it catch that detritus, and in time it builds up and creates a block, creates a wall, if you will, a channel around which the water goes. Water seeks the line of least resistance, so
Right.
it doesn't try to force that. It goes elsewhere, and
You're
that will
welcome.
happen until the whole thing is packed solid. Once it is, then typically what people do is tear it down and start over. My recommendation at that point is to take the pipe out, cap it with sand, and keep going, and you will have a beautiful deep substrate tank that'll grow plants, that'll break down waste, that'll serve as um, a balanced food web system.
And that's what when I was studying it, what I was thinking about was like taking a, one of the first questions I ever asked Father Fish, because I think we get this a lot. I was studying both ways, and the first thing I asked was, have you ever heard of a reverse flow trickle filter, where you take like a power head, and instead of putting the air stone with the uptake tubes, you put the power head on it, and it pushes the water through the plenum or whatever. And by the time he got done with me, I just forgot all that and went on with the deep substrates.
Right. Well, there are a lot of ways to skin the cat. There
Right.
absolutely
I'm
are.
not saying, I
I'm
mean,
not
it's a
against.
system,
I'm not
but
against any of them. I'm really
right.
not against any of them. What I have found, and what the literally thousands of people, I don't know if thousands, certainly 1,000. I take 1,000 for sure. I mean, I was 15 years teaching this to everybody who walked into my store. Plus,
Right.
I've been doing it for 2.5 years online here. So at least 1,000, maybe more. Have tried it, liked it,
Mm,
moved forward with it. I've had one or two people who have had problems. Their problems were based on not doing it right, not following directions. You can screw it up, but
right.
you gotta work at it to screw it up. So it's not the only way to go, but it is simple, it is effective, it creates precisely what most people are trying to achieve in a fish tank, and you wind up with something really beautiful.
Yeah.
Let's see.
There's Roman in 3G. And Press Alpha says, how well would the Father Fish method work in a 500 plus gallon plywood aquarium? Thinking about staying my build this summer. I think that would be like amazing. That would be a pond, like a real
Yeah,
pond.
I've done it. I did it in a 500-gallon tank. My substrate was about about 1 foot deep.
Yeah.
I had dirt about 3 inches with about 7 or 8, I think 9 inches of sand. I had a little gravel on top of that. And I had big fish in it, 3 foot fish, big catfish, big clown knife fish, um, big cichlids. I also planted it. I
Yeah.
had mostly sword plants and big Sagittarius in it. It worked brilliantly. It was
Right.
extremely effective. The only thing I found was that with those very big fish, I had to have filtration
Yeah.
because they were creating much more waste than even that size system could handle. And they were creating pressure on its ability to do oxygen CO2 exchange. So I had sponge filters, and I had not a sump. I did have a sump in one. I had another 200 with a sump in it. In
Yeah.
that 500, I had a canister filter, one of the old styles that I dumped in the tank. I had the whole canister, the whole thing in the tank. So if it leaked into the tank.
Right.
Worked out real well, actually.
I think what like a lot of people when they look at it, what kind of makes them iffy about it is like they're just looking at the aesthetics of the deep substrate. They're not thinking about how it works because some people don't like the look, of just having a deep substrate. But once you understand it and see how the aquarium reacts and how it balances out, it changes. And now I love the look of it, but that's why I went with black and black. I didn't necessarily like the layered look. Now I do, but that was one way I kind of overcame that by using black sand and black soil. So I don't know. I think because I've heard that a lot of people like, I don't like the look of that deep substrate. Like it's too much, but it's creating that filter.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Rebecca, I said Elizabeth, not Elizabeth. It's Rebecca. Is freshwater ichthyology.
Yeah. Oh, Reggio.
Yes.
Reggio's here, and he said any information on what was clown or blah, 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 black ghost knifefish for Reggio Silva.
What about them?
I guess he's just wanting to know about them. You got some, Reggio?
I've had a lot of them. I find them very hardy, not aggressive, easy to keep. I had a customer who grew one up to nearly a foot. That's about as big as they get. They normally can get to 7 to 9 inches. Hers got bigger. Wonderful fish, so great little fish. And you can keep it with other similar type fish, other kinds of small knife fish.
Let's see. Roman says punching through the sand layer is one way to screw it up. Ask me how I know.
That'll do it. That'll do it. But I'll tell you what, if you do it in just one spot, it's not going to destroy the tank. You'll get a little dirt coming up, but if you recap it, it'll go right back down into it. It really won't miss a beat.
Yeah.
I did have a tank. I had a 75 setup, deep substrate, heavily planted, and I put a pair of black belt cichlids in it. Whatever possessed me to do that, I don't know, because they proceeded to dig it out right down to the glass, which of course turned the whole thing into mud. I leveled it back over, took them out. It straightened out in a matter of days. It did not destroy the tank. So and it was fine from there on out.
Yeah. Reggio was asking another question about the ghost, are they blind? They're not blind, but they work a lot off of like the sensory.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Sonar and their linear.
I couldn't say it.
Their linear, whatever that's called, the linear.
Right.
Yeah. We have a scientist here.
Yeah, she's answering.
Right quick here. The word will pop up. The struggle is real, EJ says.
Oh, cool, Scott. Scott says the 75 deep substrate is grown in gorgeous, well planted 3 puppy geophagus and 5 Acora adolescents. Wendy has outdid herself. Oh, we're going to have to see it one day.
Nice, nice.
I agree, Grin. We're going to have to see it. Let's see what else if I'm missing thing. Sea cucumber for dinner.
I saw that.
Yeah. Oh, I love you guys. Y'all come up with some of the best stuff. 3G, what are you up to? You need to come up here with us. I keep missing you on live streams.
Hey, 3G. Let's see. Rebecca said, people have called her Megan. Let's see. Elizabeth.
I don't see any more
She,
questions.
Rebecca. I think Rebecca and Elizabeth are fall in the same category of names somehow.
Well, Too
They're
Cooley
both
and who was it
biblical. They're
said?
both biblical.
EJ.
Yeah.
EJ and Too Cooley said we're gonna call her Dr. Fresh. I like that.
That's good. That's good.
Lateral line. There you go. She said it.
That,
They have eyes, but they're electroreceptive. They have lateral. Yeah, the lateral line. Thank you. I couldn't get it.
what did I tell you? What
I love having a scientist in the chat.
really?
Awesome. I'll be right back. I've got to let a cat out. Sorry.
Electroreceptive eyes. All right. That's interesting. Okay. All right, Miss Smarty Pants. What precisely are electroreceptive eyes? And if you want to come up and talk about this, you're more than welcome to do so. I will post the link right there. Electroreceptive eyes. James B. Hello, James B. Crawl Angel, who we're going to turn blue here, had a beginner question. Just built a 3'2" by 11" by 10" tank. Would that be okay for fish bigger than nano, like chili raspberry? Absolutely. It's 1 foot by 10 inches by 3. That's a 33-gallon tank. 35-gallon tank. Yeah, absolutely. That's big enough for angelfish. That's big enough for medium-sized fish. Who is that? I vote that Dr. Fresco. I agree with you, absolutely. They have a modification of different cells. I think depending on species, for most of their ability to detect electrical signals, I think one might. Now, all right, so here's a follow-up. There's been research done in France, in Paris, I think, by a PhD who determined that water carries it has electromagnetic properties that are descriptive of the animals that have lived in them. So you literally determine the electrical magnetic properties of water and translate that into the species of fish that have lived in that water. Is that what you're talking about? Because if that's so, then we're really dealing with a completely different environment here in the nature of water than we ever imagined. So I'll just leave that at that for the moment. I didn't read the sizes right.
Yeah. I was just reading that. Hey, James B. I heard Father Fish say hello. And Crawl.
Crawl Angel said I didn't read the sizes right. I'm trying to get back to it.
Okay, where was the sizes?
So 3 by 2 foot, 3 foot by 2 inches, or 3 foot by whatever 2/10 of a foot is. 3 foot, let's call it, by 1 foot by nearly a foot. So it's a foot tall, a foot deep, and 3 feet long. That's a 35-gallon tank. That's what it is. I got one right here. That's exactly what that is. Difference of an inch or two, one way or the other. That's a foot tall. It's 11 inches deep front to back. It's 3. It's actually 4 foot. I take it back. It's 4 foot is 30. 3 foot would be would be like 20, 24, 25 along in there. About 25. It'd be comparable to this. This is a 40-gallon. It would be half the depth of that. So that's a 40-gallon. It would make it a 20-gallon.
Yeah,
Thank
she's
you
saying
for
about
calling.
19 gallons. Yeah.
3 foot. Yeah, about 20 gallons. That's right. You said 3. I was thinking 4. I was thinking that.
Right.
Thank you for calling me on that, Angel. You're right. I missed it.
Make us use our brains, use our noggins.
I don't use my brain.
Hey, at least I got part of one, so I'm still happy.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I've got left. All right. Press out.
I am.
Could one use a layer of lava rock as a substitute for a plenum? When water structures support the dirt, it would, no, it won't do a thing because water is not flowing through it. All it'll do is create, how I want to call this, a dead place, a dead spot in the substrate. It'll create a clump that water cannot go through because it can't go through it. It can go in it, it'll fill it up, but because it's not flowing through it, nothing will happen. It'll just sit there, won't do a thing. So the answer to the question, best answer I've got is no, it's not going to be beneficial. In point of fact, it would be the reverse. It would be like filling up your substrate with any other kind of rock. It's simply going to prevent any activity from occurring in that volume.
Hey, Verily. There's Verily. Verily just came in. Scott says,
Verily.
Geometry 101. I didn't make it through that class, obviously.
Might be another type of neuron.
Right.
Nevertheless, it does, Elizabeth, it does really open up a discussion about what the nature of water is. I did a video a while back saying water is alive, water has memory. I got thrown off a big site that, that I won't mention by name for daring to make that claim.
God love you.
I was frankly happy to leave.
Oh.
So water is alive. Water contains living properties. And that's not just the things living in the water. That is the nature of the water itself. Because if you're changing the electromagnetic properties of water, then you're changing the nature of that water. So that water is then describing, functioning as something other than what it was before that fish came to live in it.
Yeah. Because it starts off like a pure, like there's nothing, it's just like a pure source. But then as things, dust from the air or an there's just,
particularly other animals or,
particulates or,
which means then that the water in some very real sense is developing a simpatico relationship with the animals living in it, which I believe has something to do with why fish die when you do a major water change. Now, they don't always, but way too frequently they do. And nobody really seems to know why. But if, in fact, the water has developed what I'm going to call a simpatico relationship, a balanced, integrated relationship with the animals living in it, and it's suddenly ripped away and something else put in its place, that has the potential, at least, to stress the fish.
Yeah.
Something
Well,
to look at.
Just look at our drinking water. Had they add chlorine and chloramine to it to kill everything in it that's alive. Right? Am I
Right.
saying that right? Like that's what the chlorine does. It kills everything
That's the
that
purpose.
that would
Yes,
be
absolutely.
living in the water. Right. Y'all quit with the
Brentwood
geometry.
said, Brentwood said, I was told if it eats and breathes and grows, it's alive. Eats and
That's
breathes
right.
and bacteria. Well, here, that's an interesting question. Does bacteria breathe? Does it eat? Is it alive? Does it grow? It multiplies, doesn't get bigger though, stays the
Right.
same size. Does it eat? It multiplies and it uses whatever it's attached to as nutrition for its multiplication. Does it breathe? Maybe in some sense, but there are lots of scientists who make the claim that bacteria is not alive. What do I do?
Right. And we've got somebody else here, I think might be the first one if I've missed you before, but Rob Waller. Hello. They're doing the geometry on me again. They know they're making me struggle. But let's see here. Freshwater ichthyology says, imagine cells where they look nothing like ours. And then, oh, wait a minute. Let's see here. Barely's got a few. Now people are making some comments. Let's see. They look nothing like
When we
ours.
define alive, we
Yeah,
can
there we
think of
go.
aliens, but also what we have here. Viruses aren't generally considered alive. And yet clearly viruses multiply and have a direct impact on biological living creatures.
Yeah.
Yeah, our sense of what is alive it really needs to be expanded. And I really want to expand it to include water. I really, really do. I think it's vital. I think it's critical that we begin to understand that water, in fact, is alive, that it's not simply a dead substance that just sits there. Verily, verily, she says. Mary, you need to leave in about
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Oh, verily. You know, yeah, I've
PJ
seen
is
so
saying
many
gonna put
people.
a thin layer of leaf litter just under the sand, deep enough not to be seen.
Yeah,
But yes, absolutely. In fact, if you
I
will
sure
dig
do. But you
that
know,
top, that
that's like
top,
Verily said, I've seen so many good tanks of fish for years and years.
we just lost Mary, I think. Hey, Roman.
Hello.
Roman.
How you guys doing? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
I want to show Mary Paige how
look at
the
that
soil,
beautiful.
when you make a dirted aquarium, you push the soil back away from the glass and make a trench, maybe an inch
Right.
wide. And then
And
you drop
let's
the sand down in there and it hides everything behind. This is already like algae growing and mulm growing in the sand, but you don't see the soil down in here.
beautiful.
right.
That's one way to get around the problem of if you don't like the look of the soil.
Right. See, now I love it. I mean, I absolutely love it. I love the lasagna look, the layers. I love it. But at first, I didn't know. You know, I wasn't sure because I didn't know.
Right.
Look at all the tubs. Oh wow.
I got my tubs outside.
Oh, how nice.
The problem with them, well, I can't put my fish out because it's supposed to be really cold the next 3 nights.
Oh
And I don't
no.
want to
Yeah,
sacrifice
Roman
any
is
fish.
in Canada.
Yeah, I'm in Toronto, and the water, I put heaters in all the tubs, but I don't want to overheat them either because during the day they
Right,
warm up.
right.
That wall is in the sun for about 5 or 6 hours, and it heats up quite significantly and warms up the water.
Oh, it looks so
Okay.
good.
I'll let you guys go and say thank you very much for letting me come up.
Hey, good to see
Thank
you,
you,
Roman.
Roman.
Oh, Mary Paige, who made that drawing of you?
Oh, it was an app. It was
It's a
just an app
utility
on,
on Facebook.
yeah.
I've done some of it too. A bunch of people are finding it. It's really kind of cool. It's an app on Facebook.
Is it? That's
Yes.
interesting. When I saw that image, I almost my knees buckled.
I know.
Oh,
It's funny. I got a couple I can show you.
made
Okay,
me look
guys.
20 years
Take
younger.
care.
All right. Can you still hear me? Okay. Well, I got to hop off here. I've got to pop on to, I've never been on the Tennessee Mafia's live stream before, and
Well,
they've
that'll be
invited me.
fun.
So I'll be over on Kaler's Aquatics here in about, 7 minutes. But I love you all so much, and y'all know Father Fish is my sensei. I'm his grasshopper. Or wait, I said that wrong. Yeah, he is my sensei. I'm his grasshopper. I love y'all. I'm off here.
Bye, Mary.
I'll see
See
you
you
later.
next week.
Mwah.
Bye bye. All right. We'll give this a few more minutes. We got some more comments I want to get to. Let's see. EJ, we'll go back to her comment. Can I put a thin layer of leaf litter under the sand? Yes, you can. In fact, if you will mix humic material with sand, you can put that down as a 1 inch layer. Really, you can put it down as a 2 inch layer. You can mix humic substance in with the sand when you put it down, and it'll work brilliantly. That'll be perfectly effective. Let's see. First one, Rick, Elizabeth is saying, Rebecca did it again. Electrical and gravitational based life wouldn't work. That wouldn't be light, but that's physics. Press Alpha, I'd absolutely say I'm a colony of diverse life, virus, bacteria, cells, and so forth. True enough. Rebecca, I'm not sure to count RNA or tRNA, or mRNA. Generally, is molecules with purpose, to put it simply, also produced by the body and by someone who hasn't done biochem for a good while. So that's defining life more scholastically, perhaps, and more clearly. Let's see. Rebecca's going to bed. Thank you so much for being here. Delighted to have you in. Water allows the realization of life by way of its unitizing properties. Unitizing properties. Interesting, melted butter. I like it. All right, Dr. Fresh. Minneapolis is basically Canada. Yeah. Scott is saying southern Oklahoma, current temp 102 degrees. It's about 75 here in Florida right now. Nights in the 60s. Yeah, that's quite a variation, isn't it? Okay, I think we've gotten through it all. I want to give everybody a chance to catch Mary on the other stream. Life is more than sentience. I'm not sure I agree with that. I tend to define life as sentient. Life is sentient. Is all sentience life? I probably want to think it is. I'm not sure what it would take to get me off that. Maybe proving that rocks are sentient. I don't know. I know plants are sentient. That's clear. And what the position I'm taking here, and it's very good, is that press alpha is that water is sentient. That water senses that which is in its presence. And Rebecca is saying that electromagnetic properties are are not, while they clearly are sentient, that is to say they are affected by that which is in proximity to them. Does that make them live? Any more than two atoms passing each other, they're certainly sentient to each other. So yeah, I guess I got to come off of that, don't I? It doesn't work, does it? All right. Melted butters, that's interesting. Water allows the realization of life. Allows the realization, it supports the functioning of life by way of its unitizing properties. In the same way that air does, perhaps. I don't know. All right. Ronan is here. Hello, Ronan. Ronan is in the Himalayas. I want you to know. Way up in north of India, in the Himalayan foothills. All right. Okay, so we're done. Thank you all. Press alpha. Life scales down to the atomic level. What about the quantum level? Yeah, I'm not sure I'm willing to go there. I agree. I don't think I'm willing to go there. I mean, I could probably get dragged there without a whole lot of difficulty, mind you. But I'm not willing to stand on that position right now. I'm not willing to say that atoms are alive, that molecular structures are alive in any sense in which I understand life. Are they sentient? Yes, they sense each other. They sense other atoms, sense other molecules. Are they alive? I'm not willing to say so. Prove to me, give me some evidence, and I'll probably swallow it whole. All right. Renwood, not ready to put stuff out. Okay, we're going to make a run for it, guys. Thank you all for coming in, coming up, being part of this chat and conversation this evening. Most especially, thank you to Mary for coming up. Thank you to Press Alpha for the super chat. Thank you to Rebecca and to EJ, two bright new illuminaries who are a part of our conversation. Appreciate being with you all. Bless you. I'll be here tomorrow night. I think I'm going to do the NOAA project one night a week, and it'll be Monday night, not Wednesday night. So I'll post that and see if I can get someone to come up with me to do a NOAA project presentation. That'll be tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. We'll make it at 8 on Monday night. Mary Paige doesn't start till late. Well, you did it to yourself, Mary. We could have hung out here for another hour. It's 8 here, Mary, says Granwood. Where is it 8? Where is it 8? He's got to be in the middle of the Atlantic. Where is it 8 o'clock? On land. maybe in the morning. Oh, I need to get Alex up. I do. We need to get together. I need to get together with Alex. That'll be great fun. We can bounce off each other like rubber balls. Peace, love, and light, Kenneth. Peace, love, and light. I still want to Mary Paige come back. That's rude. I still want to know where it's 8 o'clock on dry land. Greenland. I guess it is in Greenland, huh? Maybe the Falkland Islands. I don't know about that. Greenland. Are you in Greenland? Who said that? Grenwood, I think. Somebody. I don't know. Too far east, Gren says. So where are you, Gren? Was it Gren who said that? I don't know. EJ, you're very welcome, EJ. Yeah, I need to get in touch with Alex is so busy these days. It's hard to get him pinned down. I can get him on the phone and talk for hours. What I should do is get him on the phone and turn on my StreamYard and just tape it. What kind of fish are native to Greenland? Oh, he's in Brazil, south of Brazil. Is it that far east of us? I don't have a global map in front of me. Really? Newfoundland has an extra 30 minutes time zone. Okay. Okay. North of Maine. Huh. I've been there, but I didn't really pay attention to the time zone. Son of a gun. All right, I guess we'll go away now. Love